Yes, indeed, that is very true, that the perception out there about the risk of COVID-19, because from January, we have had very, very low fast positivity rate. So to speak, the last 2 months, we have had a positivity of about 1%. So almost nil deaths in a month. So that low risk perception, of course, makes a lot of people believe COVID, we no longer have COVID, and therefore it's no longer important to get vaccinated, which is a misconception. The one thing that I continue to believe is vaccination has really played a very big role in containing the pandemic as it is, because by having the frontline workers, the healthcare workers, close to 95% have had their vaccines. The elderly, above 60% have had their vaccines. This is what has kept actually the pandemic low in our setup, and therefore it is important to continue recognizing that the pandemic is still here with us. That 1%. Remember, we closed schools and everything when we had one case. So the 1% that we talk about is probably 10, 15, 20 in a day. So it's still a very significant number. And there are economies that to date are still under restriction because of COVID-19. So therefore, it's important to have the herd immunity that we so seek to acquire. And the ministry's plan is to have 100% of adults, which is 27 million persons, vaccinated by the end of December this year, and 50% of younger people, adolescents above the age of 12, vaccinated by end of December. Ambitious targets. Of course, with the current trends, we have seen that the game changer is one, sustained communication. Because we have learned from experience that if we slow down on the communication, the population also slows down on the uptake of vaccines. So if we do mass campaigns or outreaches, and I mentioned the statistics, how we've been able to get 3.8 vaccinations within 2 weeks and 2 million vaccinations within 10 days. Clearly what that means is it is how we structure the delivery system. Sitting to our, being passive, in other words, being passive and waiting for the people to come for the vaccines will not happen. The important cohort that we need to engage is young people. Young people between the age of 18 and 35 contribute a significant population, portion of the population, more than 50% of the population, and they are the population that have not taken the vaccines. One, because of the it's false belief that they are protected because they are young, they are unlikely to get severe disease, which is not true, and Dr. Oluga has already mentioned that. Then secondly, because they have access to a lot of misinformation, especially through social media. This is the cohort that is in Twitter, that is Instagram, that is all over. So they are able to access all this information. And the global anti-vaccination campaign is a big movement. In fact, if you recall a few years ago, before COVID, we had a movement against tetanus vaccine in expectant women. We have had a major campaign against vaccination, even in the routine immunization. So I think it is now how we innovatively re-engage the younger people to take up the vaccination and drive the demand amongst them. Otherwise, the vulnerable, which is the elderly, with comorbidities, and the frontline workers, majority of them are above 70% in terms of vaccination rates.